Solve by completing the square. Now, notice that in this equation, I don't have a constant to move over to the other side. So I'm going to jump straight to the completing the square process. Now on the left hand side, I'm going to write x squared minus 5x, and I'm going to leave some room because I need to add the value that's going to give me the perfect square trinomial. Whatever I do to one side of the equation, I have to do it to the other. So on the right hand side, I'm also going to be adding by that quantity. To obtain this quantity, I have to get the coefficient of x. Here that's going to be negative 5. I'm going to divide that evenly by 2, and then I'm going to multiply the result by itself. I can express that by raising this to the second power. On the right hand side, I'm also adding by negative 5 over 2 raised to the second power. On the left hand side, I now have a perfect square trinomial, and I can factor it by grabbing x and adding the quantity that's inside of these parentheses. Here I have a negative 5 over 2, so I'm going to subtract 5 over 2 and raise this to the second power. On the right hand side, notice that the 0 is going to cancel out, so I'm just going to be left with the negative 5 over 2 squared. 2 doesn't divide 5, so both numerator and denominator are going to get raised to the second power. Let's begin with the numerator. Negative 5 to the second power, that's negative 5 times negative 5, giving me a positive 25. For the denominator, we get 2 raised to the second power, that's 2 times 2, so I'm left with 4. Now to get rid of this second power, I'm going to take the square root of the left hand side and the right hand side. On the left, square and square root cancel out, giving me an x minus 5 over 2. On the right hand side, since I took the square root, I'm going to be left with a plus or minus. And then the square root of 25 is 5. And the square root of 4 is 2. To finish the problem, I am going to add 5 over 2 to both sides. And on the left hand side, x is now by itself. On the right hand side, I'm going to begin by recording this value first, which is 5 over 2, and then plus or minus 5 over 2. I have two equations to solve, so let me go ahead and split them up, beginning with the 5 over 2 plus 5 over 2. And then I'm going to take care of the minus. So 5 over 2 minus 5 over 2. On the left, since we already have common denominators, I'm going to combine the numerators. So 5 plus 5, that's going to be 10. And we have a denominator of 2. On the right hand side, the 5 over 2 minus itself, that's going to leave us with 0. And just to clean this up a tiny bit more, 10 divided by 2 gives us a 5. So my two solutions are 5 and 0.